What is certain is uncertainty, and the fact that you don't know what's in the next turn as far as the global markets are concerned. And that is why we spoke to India Ratings, which came out with its report on how FY17 is looking like and stacking up for the Indian economy. I spoke to Ananda, the head of India Rating and chief analytic officer over there, and he gave us a sense of what should be watched out for as far as the economy is concerned. Listen in.
So there'll be two drivers, we think, in this pickup. One is urban consumption, and that will be fueled by interest rates remaining soft, and so therefore a pickup in general expectations on consumption. And the second thing, which is an important premise, is the pickup in government expenditure. I think these are the two primary legs. Where uncertainty on the monsoon comes into the picture, of course, is on the inflation front. In case we have another poor, weak year, then obviously prices are going to be under pressure. Food prices could be under pressure, which would have an impact on inflation and would thereby challenge the soft interest rate regime. The other thing I think is rural demand. Rural demand has been an extremely strong driver last couple of years. That has flagged in the current fiscal. Our sense is will probably remain weak next fiscal. So to come back to your point, yes, uncertainty on the monsoon perhaps, but the pickup is premised on A, commodity prices remaining soft, B, pick up in urban consumption, and 3, pick up in government expenditure.
Ananda, I'm going to quickly go through the major themes that you've spoken about in this report. The first one, of course, you referred to domestic demand to drive GDP, and we're seeing evidence of that, especially in the auto sales, etc. The second you said is rural income is going to be more than agricultural income, because you said that rural income is far wider. Now, this has been a little bit of a no-go over the last 2 years. What are the clear indicators that are suggesting a pickup in rural income?
No, I don't think we are suggesting a pickup in rural income. All we are saying is that rural income shouldn't be correlated directly with agriculture growth. There are other sources. Agriculture as a source of rural income has come down. I think we are not premising our pickup in growth on the rural growth consumption picking up. We expect, my personal belief is that rural consumption may remain weak, unless there is a step up given by the government through subsidies. But I think we are premising mostly on the urban growth. I think the theme about the rural economy is, the point being made there is, it's not all about agriculture. There's a reasonable amount of diversification in the rural sector. But we are not suggesting that's going to be the pillar for a pickup in 2016.
Okay. The two other things government related that you have said is that the onus on is going to be on the government to revive investment growth, and even small reforms, small step reforms can be game changers. Now, we haven't, while there has been a lot of expectations of government propelling investment growth and public spending picking up, the data points, Ananda, have been extremely lumpy and are not giving a clear indication of this. Do you see this year pretty much defining a defining period for this?
No, I don't see this as a defining period. I think what the government's been doing are slightly more long-term, the actions are slightly more long-term in nature. I don't think there's going to be a big bang sort of an expansion of expenditure. Government's going to be extremely circumspect and going to focus on the fiscal deficit. But what the pickups that we are seeing are primarily partly policy related. For example, on mining that we've been seeing for the last 1 year, and a somewhat tepid pickup in construction equipments. So that's good news on the ground. But the bigger pickup, I think, is going to come from cash being used, subsidy cash, for example, being used a bit more judiciously. For example, leakages in the government expenditure sort of being tightened down. These are long-term in nature, and part of those, as we start seeing, probably the first of those signs will probably be visible in 2016. So we're not looking at big bang sort of a change. What we're looking at is a long-term structural change, which I think is better for the economy than a short-term uplift.
The last theme is, of course, on the banking sector, and I'll ask your colleague Rakesh about that in the next segment. But very quickly, Ananda, we're running out of time on this segment. In the trajectory of recovery, where are we? How is 2016, 2017 stacking up? Will we see discernible recovery? And given the global volatility, is that kind of pushed further off, according to you?
I think the headwinds that we could possibly face are as you said, global uncertainty, volatility. Cost of risk management is going to go up, and so therefore the cost of doing business could potentially go up. The second uncertainty we possibly face, and you alluded to that on the banking side, is really the participation of the PSU banks in the credit space. As economic consumption picks up and there's demand for more credit, would they be able to participate? Our sense is possibly not. So till such time other intermediaries are able to step up, a lack of credit could actually be a spook. But what we are primarily saying is that there are long-term structural changes that are taking place, whether it be in the power sector or be in the road sector, for example, or in the construction sector. And some of these cash is already visible, I think, at the grassroots level. Not in the manner which would sort of make for a spectacular recovery, but certainly a distinct change from 2015 calendar, which makes us somewhat our expectations on the economic growth. But I must caveat, not all of that is going to reflect on corporate performance necessarily. Okay. I think we remain very conservative, extremely circumspect on corporate performance and our rating levels.
Well, on that note, we wrap it up here on Lunch Money. Thank you so much for joining us. Goodbye. Coming in from Ajay.